genetics are similar.
You're a big doof also?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Well, that's just the meanest thing you've ever said.
All
All right.
He's a love guy.
I got 45 minutes.
That's fine.
Let's talk Metsies, let's talk basketball, and then you could talk hockey. Because I did not watch a second of the Stanley Cup.
Neither did I.
Well,
Apparently no one did.
No,
We're
it was
still
the lowest
starting.
rating in like 20-something years.
Yeah. Get the party started. Welcome, episode 360, S&D Podcast Show. I know you guys said we would go to hockey later, but I have a hockey trivia question to jump right at you guys. And then we can go to the other stuff.
Cal Clutterbuck.
The answer is not Cal Clutterbuck.
When in doubt, Cal Clutterbuck's the
Cal Clutterbuck. Yeah, pretty much.
So, in 1965, it was the first Conn Smythe Trophy awarded in the NHL, Stanley Cup playoffs. 58 years. 57 winners, of course, because, you know, the Hawkeye.
Yeah, 04.
Sure.
Okay.
05.
Jonathan Marchessault. I think I pronounced that wrong, probably. Shout out Vegas Golden Knights.
You kind of have to be a little French to say it right.
Okay, so
Oui.
shout out to him. He is now only the second player in history in 57 years to have won the Conn Smythe Trophy and have gone undrafted. Can you name the other guy? And I know what you guys are going to start thinking of, like random winners that you can remember of. But I'm going to tell you now, it's the craziest answer you can come up with.
I think the trick
here.
No, I think the trick here
that was a good one. That was actually a good one. Actually, when I heard the question the first time, I thought it was Jaguar also, but he actually was drafted.
The trick
that
here
was a good. That was a good 30 for 30, by the way.
The E60.
Yeah, I didn't watch
E60. Sorry,
yeah.
sue me.
Yeah, we thought it was a 30 for 30, so we thought it was going to be awesome, and then we found that it was an E60. We're like, what? And it was at 11 a.m.
Yeah, but I just watched it on ESPN Plus, so no big deal.
Right, we realized
that at 10:59 when we both tried to rush to get to the DVR. That
I was
we
like,
just
why? When you said it, I was like, why is it on at 11 a.m.? It can't. Why they don't show 30 for 30s at 11 a.m. on Sunday? Anyway, I think the trick here is that Gretzky wasn't drafted.
This is the correct answer.
Yeah, I thought so.
Gretzky wasn't drafted?
Yeah, because
think about that. Wayne Gretzky went undrafted.
WHA or something. It's like a whole thing.
Nice. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I was like, they literally were talking about it on a pregame, and I'm like, Wayne Gretzky went undrafted. Like, there were teams in this league that just were like, hey, screw this guy. That's like the greatest player in Canada of all time. We'll just pick somebody else.
Yeah, pretty much.
I
think it was a competitor league thing, like a USFL, but nobody wanted to waste a pick.
So here is the answer. Gretzky wasn't drafted into the NHL because he signed as a teenager with the WHA, and was one of two players the Edmonton Oilers were able to protect when the leagues merged.
Oh, okay.
So the NHL bought them out, and the Oilers were part of the WHA. So when they became part of the NHL, they were part of that protection list. So the other guys didn't go into the draft.
That's kind of bullshit. You had a team, and then you're like, okay, you can come in the league, but you lose everybody except two guys. Okay.
That's rough.
Hey, there's another one from that E60 that I didn't know. So I looked back at those expansion drafts. Fun fact about the Ducks-Panther expansion draft. The day after their expansion draft, there was a second day of the draft where, so the year before them was the Sharks and Senators, and the year before that was the Lightning. So those 3 teams were allowed to draft guys that each of them got 2 rounds basically, and they were each allowed to take a player, any players they wanted. So, for example, the Ducks selected Glenn Healy from the New York Islanders. But if you look at Glenn Healy's statistics and stats and like all the teams he ever played for, the Ducks is not on there
Because he got taken by one of the other teams right after?
and by one of the other teams the next day.
Why
This
would
was
you
Tampa,
spend money?
Who they then traded for a 3rd-round pick. They traded him to the Rangers for a 3rd-round pick.
Why would you spend money on a franchise knowing these rules? You'd be like, you get to pick your team, but then the teams who also just gave us money, they get to take from your team.
I'm just happy to
late.
be there. I'm just happy to be here.
That just sounds like the dumbest. I hate this league.
At his press conference the other day, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
This is like run by 12-year-olds with a stick in the
Keep in
mud.
mind, this is pre-Bettman.
Well, it stunk then too.
Keep in mind, this is all pre-Bettman because Bettman is the guy who basically brought the Ducks in.
Quack, 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 quack. It's the Ducks.
This is, again, a little bit off topic, but it's crazy NHL thing. If you ever, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. If you ever want to read a funny story, go read the story about how Lou got Scott Stevens from the Blues. It's essentially the Blues signed Brendan Shanahan.
Vin, this sounds like us going to a Bridgeport game and finding a guy and figuring out where they're from, where we know them from.
Brendan Shanahan was on the Devils. The Blues tried to sign him as a restricted free agent, but they didn't have the picks because the league is stupid, but they let him do it anyway. So he just said, no, I want Scott Stevens instead of whatever else you're going to take. And he just took him. He decided the compensation, and he just took him.
I have a question. Can we get him to do that again for
that's what I'm saying.
Connor McDavid? You guys can sign Oliver Wahlstrom for off the RFA this year.
But I want.
But we're taking Connor McDavid in exchange.
Thank you.
That's a fair deal.
It's a crazy thing.
And you can even have Scott Mayfield. And you can have Scott Mayfield in exchange too.
You know what else is crazy? It's actually a little annoying. I'm a little sick of it, and it's only been 2 days. Why does the MVP of the league not care about the league in basketball?
NBA? Are we talking NBA? Are we talking
NBA? He doesn't
Because he
care.
just wants to go home and ride horses.
That's dumb.
First off, there's a video of him throwing another player into the smallest pool ever. And
it's shockingly deep because I saw someone else do a cannonball 2 seconds later.
It's shockingly deep. But these pools are like not fit for 7-foot guys to fall straight line into these pools, clearly.
Yeah, it was him throwing Murray in.
Right, okay. So second, now he's throwing the guy who just tore his ACL 2 years ago into the pool too. So now we're just risking everybody gone off of this team forever.
Right. So now he doesn't care about anybody. He doesn't care about him.
That was
him celebrating.
It was really funny seeing his reaction to that he had to stay for the parade. He's like, "What? No, why? I want to go home."
He was like, "Isn't
that's
it
like
supposed to be the next day? Why do I have to go home?
I just want to go home."
And then did you see what happened at the parade?
No,
someone threw a beer can that bounced and hit his wife right in the face.
Oh, really? My God.
Oh boy.
Maybe he's right.
The guys just can't win. The guy just
want to go home.
He's like, oh, if I went home, my wife doesn't get in the face with a beer can.
I suppose that is true, but it's a little. I mean, I get it, but it's a little.
weird. I think the series was good on all considering that the Heat ran out of gas and was obviously far less superior than them. I think all the secondary guys just ran out of gas, and Jimmy was just very blah. Bam was their best player, and he could only do so much. So
do the Heat go after Kyrie? Because apparently there was a report that they went after Kyrie earlier in the.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean.
It was like I saw it like on Twitter, like a scroll through Twitter, and then I couldn't find it again.
Right.
But
I probably wouldn't.
This would be interesting. Beal, everyone's trying to trade for Beal. What would they give up?
I hope the Knicks don't go after that because he is highly overpaid.
You know he's the 4th highest paid player in the league.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me. I don't know
It's
how
just the
these.
NBA.
The guy's
the
making like
NBA
$50 million a year for like the next per year for like the next
Yeah.
3 years, and then has like a $60 million player option.
I'm just
Yeah,
gonna. Is he still on the Wizards?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
trading him though.
And I saw he was the only player with a no trade clause. That can't be right. But I saw that on the ESPN ticker.
Like in the
the other
league?
night. Yeah, I saw it on the Met game last night. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, that had to be an error. But he
You're
can't be
telling
the only
me
player.
LeBron James could be traded anywhere and he has no say in it?
Right. That's my point. I think
doubt,
ESPN
yeah.
messed up that ticker.
You mean to tell me
I
the Nets
misread it, which is
the
highly
Nets
possible.
didn't go to Kyrie and be like, hey, we have 2 options, Dallas or somewhere else?
No, for sure. Yeah, I think that was a misread on my part.
Maybe.
But he definitely has a no trade, and they're like, maybe we shouldn't have done that.
So I have to also give a personal apology to Matthew Tkachuk. So I called him a pussy for not wanting to play Game 5.
Yeah, you're gonna have to backtrack.
Wow.
Well, when you hear the guy's out for Game 5, and then you think back to, was it Bergeron who played in the finals with a collapsed lung?
Yeah.
You're thinking like, what could really be wrong with this guy? He has a broken sternum. Okay, all right. I apologize, bro.
The part of that's holding your body together is broke.
It's broken.
I apologize.
How did he manage to break that?
He got checked, and like the way he went down.
I don't.
So it was like game, I think 3 or 4. He took a check, like it was a nice clean hit, but then it was like shoulder to shoulder, like the perfect time shoulder to shoulder, and then or shoulder to chest. But then when he went down, he kind of turned, and fell on his arm, which kind of put more pressure onto his sternum, so it kind of just broke it all. And then Aaron Ekblad broke his foot in the first round.
Yeah,
2 separated shoulders dislocated, and a torn oblique muscle,
and a concussion test that he passed.
And he passed like 3 concussion tests in the playoffs.
Yeah. Really quick, Danny, you weren't wrong. History of the NBA: Kobe, LeBron, Tim Duncan, Carmelo, Kevin Garnett, David Robertson, Dirk, Dwayne Wade, and John Stockton were the only people to ever have a no-trade clause. I guess they just don't put them in the contracts. But Bradley Beal is the only person with a no-trade clause.
So I did read it right.
You were right, yeah. I'm stunned.
I was angrily watching the Met game. Anything could have possibly happened, and I would have believed it.
I didn't watch an inning.
I hate watch the 18.
If you would have told me like 5 years ago that the Mets would have Justin Verlander and I would have no interest in watching any of his starts, I would have punched you in the face. But I don't think I've had interest in watching any of his starts.
The most disappointing thing, they didn't show Kate Upton once.
Was she there?
It was probably there.
She had to have been.
Yeah, she usually hangs out with Alex. So.
Here's a little hockey Stanley Cup stat. 2019, the Boston Bruins beat the Toronto Maple Leafs in the playoffs, lost in the NHL Finals. In 2021, the Montreal Canadiens beat the Toronto Maple Leafs in the NHL playoffs, lost in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yep.
In 2022, the Tampa Bay Lightning beat the Leafs, lost in the NHL Finals. In 2023,
don't beat the Leafs in the playoffs.
So now it's
beat
like
the Leafs,
beat the Leafs, but you're done. That's your cup.
You're only getting your conference championship. You're not getting
get the conference championship and then bow out.
Right. Which is pretty good.
I mean, it's kind of like you don't want to be the team to lose to Toronto in the playoffs at this point.
Nobody does.
Like Tampa literally had to sell a minority part of the team this year because they lost to Toronto in the playoffs.
Oh, did they really?
$1.4 billion to not even own a majority part of the team.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
That's just throwing away funny money.
That doesn't make any sense.
And you're going into a league that doesn't make a lot of money. So
that doesn't make any. I feel like you might be wrong on that. Because they're selling the Senators for like $800 million. Why don't you just go buy the Senators?
Yeah, Finn's right on that. I did see that.
Although nobody wants the Senators, apparently.
Then again, you're right with that.
I did his Tampa, so I don't know.
I don't know, man. That seems a lot.
But I would just go buy the Senators.
Wow.
So just go buy the Senators. Wait, it says
Is that a
1.4.
controlling? Is that
It says
controlling?
1.4 billion valuation, which means
That-
they paid like 300 million for a percentage,
Right.
and it means the team is worth of 1.4.
Yeah, there's no way a guy's spending
The
that
guy
much
didn't give
money.
1.4 billion.
Yeah, there's no way that guy's paying that money to be a minority
No.
owner. No shot. Like Vin said, he would just go to
He
the
was just bought the
Senators.
fucking Senators. But you're right. I'm surprised that team is worth that much.
That's what happens when you go to the Cup 3 straight years and win 2 of them.
That is true.
It's actually, if you really think about it, it's like they
Plus
won.
the other
Wasn't it
years.
like 4 out of like 8 years, out of like 6 years or something like that?
In the
I don't
conference
know.
finals? Sounds
Yep.
about right.
The other one they went was a couple
Started in
years ago.
15. Their run
Yeah, it
started
was a
in
while
15. So
They lost to the Hawks recently.
In
Wasn't the Hawks
15. Yeah.
because
And
they
then
beat the Rangers in 7 in the conference finals in 15.
And then they went again in 19, 20, 21. So yeah, it's 4 out of like 8.
Vin, the Mets were NL pennant champions 8 seasons ago. Can you believe it?
No, I can't. I can't figure out.
We
if
still
it's
talk about how you think about it. 8 years ago on June 15th, do you think we were thinking about winning a pennant? We had John Mayberry Jr. being our cleanup hitter every day.
Well, nothing beats my birthday that year. That was the classic, infamous Mayberry, Eric Campbell, and who was the other awful outfielder on our team?
I don't know. It was a Kershaw day.
Yeah, we're like,
Yeah.
all right, we're getting no hit. Happy birthday.
I can't figure out if it's a normal thing or a bad thing that there's nobody left from that team. I think it's just a normal thing.
Probably a
it's
normal thing, 8 years, but
Yeah.
we should have at least one of the guys.
You should have had at least one of them, right?
David's
Well,
still
we
be
didn't.
playing.
Oh, did you see Matt Harvey is working in real estate now?
I did see that.
I did also, but good.
Real estate bro all the way.
He looked so miserable at the game the other night. Like I
He
saw
was at the
him
game
from
the
where
other
I was.
He was at the
And, like-
game, the one that wasn't on ESPN, so Tuesday.
Correct. He was at Tuesday's game.
You know who else was there wearing his jersey? R.A. Dickey.
He was there. So
Why would you wear
here's
your
a
own
little-
jersey?
He was at the
He was at an
memorabilia
event.
shop.
Oh,
So-
okay.
So on Monday there was a season ticket holder event where him and Josh Tolley came in to talk about the Cy Young year.
That's cool.
It's like, can you imagine
Tolley?
getting that email that says R.A. Dickey and Josh Tolley will be in house if you would like to join us?
I'm
Please
not
let us know."
coming. I'm there's no shot I'm wasting.
We can use Ari. I'm sure Ari
on
Dickey
Josh
Tolley.
R.A.
Tolley.
Pretty
Dickey
good
could
with
pitch
us.
magically right now for us.
Josh Tolley, get out of my face.
He was at Alzheimer's Day last year, Vin. Just
Yes,
remember
he
that.
was. Yes, he
I
was.
thought Josh Tolley was.
Excuse me.
gonna be the
Glendon
next
Rush
big
was
thing.
at the Hall of Fame induction this year.
Those things are so weird.
Glendon Rush, Turk
He was
Wendell,
that good?
and Dennis Cook were 3 guys that were in this whole.
No,
this whole
you know what,
thing.
Danny? No, he wasn't that good friends with them because when Al got up to talk, he didn't mention him. He forgot he was there. He said all the other guys like Zeal
Where
and
was like
Fonzie.
Algardo, Alfonso?
No,
he
Fonzie
wasn't
was there.
Was he?
But then, like,
Should have
the
brought him,
other
like, Rick
side,
Reed.
the other way was Dennis Cook and Glendon Rush, and he just, like, forgot they were there.
I don't remember Fonzo being there.
I think he was there. I feel like I remember him being there. I
So
don't
can
know.
we talk how miserable we are about these 2023 Metropolitans so far? They don't know how to play simple baseball. They've completely forgot how to play baseball, which is weird because Buck's the manager.
I don't know.
Very weird.
Like, I remember thinking earlier in the season, like, if this team is bad, we probably should just stop watching because, like, there's no reason they should be bad.
I'm gonna say it out loud. Buck is getting outmanaged in these games.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
Last year, he outmanaged every manager.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
time there was a call in the field that went against us, he knew exactly how to make it go for us.
I know it's not really his style either. I'd like him to just blow up at an umpire once.
Oh, when Drew Smith didn't even make it to the mound, he should have started.
Like, I don't know.
flipping out.
The Drew Smith thing.
That was hilarious, by the way. That had to be the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
This guy's
Then
just
he was,
coming
like,
in from the
telling his
bullpen. We're like,
teammates-
oh, okay. They announce him in. We're just lolly-dallying. It's between innings, thinking he's going to throw pitches. We look up, and everybody's just huddled together, and they're throwing him out because
Oh,
he had
so
hair gel.
you didn't see him going to his teammates. Feel my hand. Nothing. Come on.
He
We
said
just saw a blob of people doing
Yeah.
random things, and the next thing you know, the
Oh,
umpire
but you
threw
were
him
at the
out.
game too.
no, I wasn't at the game. No.
Oh, okay.
But I think I had fallen asleep by then. I saw that he said that he asked the MLB official that's in the clubhouse. And
Yeah,
the
the
guy was
MLB
like,
official wanted
I
to
don't
see,
know.
and they said
It's
there
not
was nothing.
sticky.
I call BS on that.
And then they told David Robertson his hand was sticky yesterday too, apparently.
Really?
Yeah, I mean he obviously didn't throw him out, but he said that they told him his hand was sticky. And I was like,
So,
there's no
who-
rules here.
who was the guy? Oh my god, is it Chris Rose? What's that guy's name? Oh my god,
Chris Rose?
Chris Rose is the guy. who
John
does-
Boy,
Yeah,
Chris Rose.
the guy who used to do like Fox and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
okay.
on
Chris
NFL
Rose.
Network still.
He did he had an interview with Bassett. I was watching a TikTok with you.
Yeah, I saw the clip you're talking about.
And he flat out asked Bassett, "What's your opinion? Is this something that like teams want, like the Mets struggle?" And he even said he's like, the players hate it.
In general,
he
the
basically
Mets are
said
struggling.
the league is against the Mets, and it makes the league look bad because the players are like, okay, these teams are going for it, they should be rewarded. That's basically what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But he also reiterated, I'm not rooting for them to win the World Series,
Sure.
of course, which,
Well,
Plays for the Blue
he
Jays.
should
Why
have
would-
still been on the Mets.
I'm happy he wasn't. He wasn't like as good. He was good, but like
Yeah, he crumbled like everybody else at the end of the year.
He did,
So.
but I don't know
he also
why.
fucked them over in the postseason. They're like, hey, you may pitch this game, you may not pitch this game. It depends on what happens
Right.
on this
Correct.
game.
That was
And
bullshit.
that screws it. You should have just threw him
Right.
out there because then guess
Mhm.
what? Now you have Jake going for your. Think about it. If let's say we lose Friday like we did, Bassett got out there, pitches a gem, and we win. Now you have Jake going the next day. You feel super confident.
That was
Agreed.
the whole thing. Was they wanted to pitch him Saturday, in case they won both games, and then Jake would pitch in the playoffs. They
Jake
should have
would
just
be
said,
one
"You're
to
pitching
start
game
off.
3, Jake's pitching game 2, Max is pitching game 1. I don't care what happens." And if you're that confident in him to pitch the elimination game you played when you lost Friday, you got to be that confident in the pitch game 1 of the next series.
Right. And even
my
if you lose game 1, then you're already back to Max at that
Correct.
point. Plus, in fairness, let's face it, if in a perfect world last season, the rotation was going to be Max or Jake 1, 2, and then Bassett was going to be a 3, Cookie the 4, and a guy fighting for the 5th. That would have been the perfect scenario, right? So ideally, that's what Buck was trying to do, put the rotation the way it's supposed to be in the playoffs. But still, like you just said, you got to let him pitch game 2 there. You told him he was pitching game 2. He would have been on exact rest that he needed to be on. He was prepared to play game 2, but you literally said, we'll see what happens Friday, and then we'll decide on a starter for Saturday.
That never made sense. I would have said to him, "You're pitching Sunday. That's it. If we play Sunday, you're pitching. That's it."
Right. Worst case scenario, he's starting game 1.
Correct.
And guess what? If you lose game 1, now you have Max and Jake going back to back.
And you got the rest of a series to play. Now,
And
I do think, me personally, and probably most of us, overlooked the fact that while he's been phenomenal, he's been as good as I could expect, that Senga was going to,
be the 3.
Yeah, be, solid from day one, lock in what Bassett was. It was going to take time. And it's taken a couple of months now, and he's kind of in a rhythm now where he's pretty good every time out. But I think to just assume that was going to cancel out was a bit of a high assumption, I think, on our part. Even though he's been great. The other two, on the other hand, have stunk.
Well, I'll tell you this. The test you pitched, what's his name?
Lucchesi,
pitched well the other day.
he did.
You got the other guy throwing now, finally, getting rehab starts in.
He just started his rehab. Yeah, Quintana.
He's like right on pace for that. Right after the All-Star break.
Probably. You think he needs a month roughly, so he needs a spring training. So
Any update on Pete and his magical splint, and then the next day taking fielding?
He's at Jeff's thing. Steven just sent me a video. He's got nothing on. His hands are all nothing.
$2,500 to get in the door at Topgolf.
It's some McNeil golf event, but again, no, his hands are clear. So I don't know what the big cast thing was the other day.
Yeah.
Wasn't it a comedy event? Maybe it was just.
It was the Cardin Roberts comedy.
It was, but why?
And Frank the Tank stole the show. Apparently.
Did you see what the clip from about Cohen talking to Frank the Tank?
Yeah,
that was good. I'm glad you didn't take a picture with him because fuck Frank.
Frank was right though, unfortunately.
He's
but the clock is right twice a day.
He's not. He was not right last season at all.
Last year he was not, but this season he was right.
Well,
so
see, whenever he's
listen, I'm
right
gonna go back to what I said
more
before.
often than not, Dan.
As much as we don't like Vogelbach, in the 9th inning the other night on Tuesday night,
he should have played.
There's no reason why.
Yeah,
Tommy Pham is batting in that situation, and Luis Guimaraes is hitting in that situation.
I'm with you.
Well,
Vientos and
one of them should have batted for Guillorme.
Should have had Thomas Nito come from Syracuse to fight for Guimaraes for all I care. You could have let Max hit.
He hit a triple because the right fielder couldn't see the ball. That's the only thing I've seen so far.
Who, Voit?
Yeah, he hit a ball to right field.
A homer. He has a homer. I know that.
I don't know. I also know that Ronnie Mauricio looked like a baby deer playing left field so far tonight. So that's not going.
Oh boy, there's your wish.
Thank God. Thank God. Thank God we want him to be the DH.
Yeah, please, because he can't seem to do anything else.
Listen, they always said Peterson is getting lit up again.
That guy stinks.
Yeah, I had all the faith in the world for him, and that completely backfired.
4 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, 6 strikeouts.
Like he's gonna need to have an injury for the rest of the season to fix his ego.
I think
it's seeming like
let's
mental.
see. Mauricio's 1 for 2 today with a stolen base and an error.
Yeah, he had me an error. Yeah, had me an error on a ball.
Voigt's playing first base, 0 for 2, batting .250 with a strikeout.
I think the Peterson and McGill, like we said, about assuming Senga. I think the assumption that those two would be serviceable too were our biggest downfalls.
Yeah, they never bolstered that back end of, hey, what are we gonna do if these guys are not?
Let's just face it, Billy Epler sucks at his job, and we all could be doing a better job.
Billy Epler sucks at his job, yes. No, but I think, like I said, we all knew that some of them would get hurt. And as long as it didn't all happen at once, if those two were there to back up, basically, everybody's making 15-ish starts, then I thought we'd be all right. But Peterson is unusable, and McGill is getting there. I mean,
McGill's been serviceable.
He's a two-out McGill. The 2-out McGill thing kills me, but it's he's
been okay. Help that we have 0 offense on the team too. You got to remember.
Well, yeah, I mean, Pete is out, and Lindor and Jeff are not having the same seasons that they had last year.
Yeah, but it's okay. Lindor
and
cut
neither
his
is
hair.
Marte.
So it's all turning around now. Lindor cut his hair. They gave out the bobblehead about the growth of the hair, and now he cut his hair.
No, that was grass on the field.
Yeah, but they colored the hair that he doesn't have anymore.
Oh,
so now he just looks like a.
You know what? Fine. If that's what'll do it this time, then that's what'll do it.
Yeah, no, he can't be batting too far.
His exact answer to the question at the end of the game yesterday was, they asked him about the hair, and he goes, "I don't know if it's a superstitious thing or not, but we're 1-0."
I'm not a little stitious. I'm not superstitious. I'm a little stitious.
Just a little stitious. Yeah.
So whatever wants
to
make you feel better.
I'm very stitious. So
what do we have coming in this weekend?
Fucking let's go. We are playing the St. Louis Cardinals.
Oh, so there's more shit.
That
But you know
don't
what?
mean nothing.
They've been awful. So that was the other thing. I meant to bring this up when you talked about Bassett and the interview with Chris Rose. They showed a graphic on ESPN last night that was, I think it's the top 8 payrolls. None of them are leading their divisions in baseball. It's
That's
like
pretty absurd.
like
4 of the teams in the National League last year that went to the playoffs, if the season was to end right now, would be out.
but like all of like the Mets are out. The Padres are out. The Yankees
Phillies
are
are
in a
out.
wild card. The
Phillies are out.
Astros are in a wild card. The Dodgers are in a wild card. The Phillies are out. It's like all
I said on our chat the other day, we're living in a world where we're wondering if the Pirates or Reds are going to win the NL Central.
yo,
Oh my god.
the Diamondbacks might win the World Series.
Yeah, that's.
I'm not
that's-
kidding.
Well, not according to Davey Martinez of the Nationals, who hates them because they don't follow the rules and the umpires help them. And you didn't see what happened
Yeah,
at
I
the end
saw,
of the game?
I saw it. I saw
What
it.
if, first of all,
So
No,
he
I didn't see
printed
that.
out the picture of the Diamondback running down the line on first base. He was on the inside part of the line,
okay,
and he was called safe because the ball hit him.
yeah, because you
Because
make
the
your own
catcher
baseline.
threw it.
Those are the rules.
And Davey Martinez printed a picture from behind the plate that showed the guy in his way, and it should be base runner interference, and he should have been out.
He printed a picture. Does he cut out comics from the newspaper too? I mean, what are we doing here?
Davey.
It was pretty funny.
I mean, that's loser behavior. How the mighty have fallen.
We're not
Is he the one
far.
that won the
We're,
World Series?
Yeah, he won the World Series like 4 years ago.
it was a week ago.
It felt like it.
I don't want the video. Oh, it's over here. Look, Ben, this is his press conference.
Also,
Here's a picture.
we were talking about Lindor. I think all shortstops just stink. Because Trey Turner stinks, and Carlos Correa stinks, and Xander Bogaerts stink. They all
Carlos
stink.
Correa's got a bad ankle, you know.
Well,
You imagine if he was on our team right now?
let me see this nonsense. I mean, yeah, he's allowed to be there, though. As long as he runs there the whole time, he's allowed to be there. Those are the rules, sir.
But he thinks the rule needs to be changed because it's bad for baseball. And here we are. We're just changing all the rules. Baseball's not baseball. Jeff McNeil got called for illegally standing on the wrong side of the base because he had 1 foot that was on the right.
But he wasn't. That's the other thing, too. He got back on the right side of the base before the pitch was thrown. Those are
Then
the
you see him.
rules.
The next pitch was hilarious.
And then he's standing on the base the entire time. The rest
Of
of
all the
back.
people to piss off on our team, you can't piss off Jeff McNeil. I'm sorry.
And I think the funniest part about the entire thing, and they kept saying it on ESPN, like I couldn't stop laughing because they kept saying it. The home plate umpire is the one who called it, not the umpire who was standing directly behind the guy watching his
Yeah.
feet.
It's like when the ref from the fucking other side of the ice calls a trip. And
Yeah,
it's like you
David
couldn't
Cohn
even
was
see
like-
the play.
David Cohn was like, "All right, we this wasn't what the intention of the ruling was supposed to be. This is absolutely absurd."
I hate this sport.
Oh, we can't forget that John Sterling got hit by a foul ball last weekend.
The most
Ow,
unironically,
ow,
the ow.
No.
I couldn't stop laughing.
Did you? Nicole showed me something on TikTok. Elvis Duran, their show made a funny like remix of him
Oh,
and
God.
ow, do 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 ow. Do you know that dance song from the 90s?
Oh, from
I
like
don't think I do.
you know it.
You know it. I'm not doing it justice, but they did it with
Probably.
his ow, which was pretty funny.
Oh God.
I can't believe WFAN showed the clip. That should
So
be considered
apparent-
elders.
Yeah, they really should not have showed them. But it was just
It's
ow,
hilarious.
ow.
No.
That really hit me. I didn't think it was.
So apparently at the parade
It's never
today,
stopped being him.
Jokic went to the mic and said, "Remember when I said I didn't want to stay for the parade? I wanted to fucking stay for the parade," is what he said.
Oh, we got the F bomb.
I wonder how much his publicist yelled at him and said, "You better say you're happy to be here."
Yeah.
Okay, so are we gonna go back and say no? I know where the MVP trophy is. It's at the arena, and You saw
Did you-
that?
Did you see him try and splash the champagne in the locker room?
Yeah. He didn't want to
Didn't
be
put it
there.
down. He was like, "Can I go home now?"
It's very weird. But he's from Serbia, so we let it slide.
He's probably afraid
guess.
of getting shot when he goes home now.
I don't know how Serbia is, to be honest. It could be invaded right now. It could be a great place. I have absolutely no idea.
Who knows?
I think he's going to be safe.
Sure. He's got horses. He can ride away.
Right, just ride the horse away.
Correct.
At this moment, do you guys trust the Yankees or the Mets to go to the playoffs?
The Yankees.
Yankees at the moment, they're 10 games above 500.
Also,
They're not going to do any. They're not doing anything in the playoffs. But
have you looked at the American League Central? Like the division leader is 500. Like their competition around the league is not great.
Yeah.
They're trying
AL
to
East is
petition
exactly
to not
what we
let an
expected.
AL Central team in the playoffs and just say screw it.
They really should just let. I don't care. If the Orioles make it in normally, then the AL Central can have a team. If the Orioles don't, the Orioles get that spot. That's the rules.
I want an Oriole Diamondback World Series. Let's go.
Let's fucking go.
Want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Nobody would watch. Nobody.
Want to get
would.
nuts?
We
Let's
would.
get nuts.
We would
Correct.
be the nut jobs that are watching those games,
I
man.
would be like Adley Rutschman and Corin Cable, whatever that guy's name is. Let's fucking go.
I'm a
That guy hit
Cedric
the
Mullins
longest
guy.
home run in Camden Yard history, and they had Chris Davis hit
Fucking
60.
people. Yeah. He's such a beast.
Does he get a ring if they win a World Series?
Chris Davis?
He is still technically
still
on their
employed?
payroll.
He might be.
He's probably there like once a month, like Hakeem Nicks and all that.
He's like the Elgato Alfonso. They just call him to come in and do some
Hakeem
and the
Nicks.
kid ball.
That was the one player that's usually there.
I was thinking he's more like Kenny Galladay, where he just shows up, but he doesn't actually do anything.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And gets paid a lot of money.
Oh, Kenny
Gets a lot
Galladay.
of
Did he
money.
catch on
Throw
there?
ball.
No, right?
No, God no.
He'll be
Okay.
one of those like
Watch, he'll sign with the team and he'll just go off, and you're like, what? Doesn't even make sense.
Why?
he'll be that guy in like the third week of camp after like a second preseason game. Someone's gonna be like, oh, maybe we should bring in another wideout to try out or something. Or maybe he'll get caught on right after all the cuts.
Relatively quickly. Why? What are we doing with the
He'll be a
running
week
backs
2 pickup.
here in the league?
Say that again,
Like,
Ben?
what are we doing running back wise? Because
None of them are playing.
does Dalvin Cook? He doesn't have a job, or he's going to be a Jet. I don't know. Something.
No,
like
he's
not
gonna
gonna be a Jet.
anyway. He's going to the Dolphins.
Okay. Zeke still just sitting around doing nothing.
Right.
Kareem Hunt
Like
still just sitting around doing nothing.
I think it's so. I was reading something on Hunt the other day. Apparently, he's asking for like amount of money that like no player in the league gets.
He's asking for $16 million, and everybody's laughing at him.
Basically,
No,
yeah. He's like, I scored touchdowns. I deserve money. And it's like, okay, we get it, but you also
they're all
wanted, like,
asking for
40.
starting roles and starting money, and that's why nobody signed them.
Right. So
They're
on
looking
last
for
night's
rings
show,
and starting roles.
Yeah, like on last night's show, it's really the blink off between the Giants and Saquon, Jacobs and the Raiders, and then we have Hunt, we have Zeke, and we have Cook. It's really who's going to blink first, and obviously the free agents can wait as long as they possibly want. As for Jacobs and Saquon, we have till July 17th, so it's going to be interesting which team or player blinks first to get that contract taken care of.
So, Jordan Renown was talking about it on ESPN yesterday. Saquon's basically thing is he's looking for the guaranteed money, and that's what the players look for these days.
Sure,
they don't look for the length in the contract because you got to realize the biggest thing with the NFL is every contract's basically a year-by-year thing. Because you could be cut right before a certain date or whatever, and it won't even matter to a team.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're just looking at the number, whatever it says, 5 years, 70 million, whatever, 40 guaranteed. That's what we're looking at. That's all we care about.
Yeah,
that's basically where they're trying to find the meeting ground between the Giants and
the same with
Saquon.
Jacobs and the Raiders. I'm assuming as well.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, Saquon has all the leverage here, and I still think
he really
he
doesn't, though.
But now he might not. Like, listen, if they went from him, if they just said, okay, we're trading you for picks, and we'll sign one of these three, they get significantly worse.
Yeah, well, probably.
Yeah, because you're not ending up with a
Right.
if you're gonna look at those three and rank them on the order of which you want them,
Two of
Dalvin Cook's
them,
number one.
nobody does
Oh.
as much he can do.
Yeah, Cook's still good, but
Cook's the closest.
Yeah, but
The
he,
only
for whatever
problem
reason,
is-
fell off a cliff last year, right? Even
The-
though the stats were there.
The only,
Yeah, it
the only
wasn't the
key
same.
to Zeke is he could play center also. Remember, he played center in the last play of the season.
The
So
thing
he's
with
like,
Zeke is
he's got value.
just
He's
watching
going to
that
end up
one-
back in Dallas. People just don't realize it yet. They're just
Yeah,
waiting
I
for
don't
camp.
know.
They're gonna
Apparently,
get the camp.
Pollard's running 20 miles per hour with like they were joking, whatever podcast I was listening to, that he is basically rookie of the year with his leg basically was broken in the playoff game. Now he's running faster, over 20 miles per hour.
Wonderful. I'm keeping him in fantasy
but
this year, so
but
great.
watching the Cowboys at all last year, like Zeke was basically shot, and they just kept on feeding him the ball, and then Pollard was their third down back when he should have been starting. So it'll be interesting to see. They definitely need the backups. I don't know their depth chart, but I'm sure something's gonna happen.
Like,
He was rumored to
Didn't
the
they
Bucs
draft
as well.
somebody also, like late in the draft?
I'm sure they did.
But if the Giants just signed Dalvin Cook, it's not the same. It's not the same.
They have Malik Davis,
Who is this?
Deuces
Cowboys.
Vaughn.
Oh,
Yeah,
Deuce
Ronald
Vaughn.
Jones is there. That was who they signed.
Oh, they got Ronald. All
They
right,
got
so
Ronald
might-
Jones in
Alright.
Dallas,
They might
So
not
they got a
need-
little power guy.
which basically takes in the Zeke. They drafted Deuce Vaughn out
Uh,
of Kansas State this year.
Oh, I like Deuce Vaughn.
Yeah, Deuce Vaughn, his dad did the scout there.
Oh, that was the one that
That
they
was the
showed his
clip with
dad making the
"You
call.
wanna come
and-
to work for me next week." That's him.
Yes.
Okay.
I
that
liked
makes
him out of Kansas State. He was awesome.
Okay, that does make
Yeah,
sense.
That's nice.
But like, what's the Giant depth chart running back wise?
Depth chart
They-
is Breida, Brightwell, and Gray, the draft pick from Oklahoma.
And Joshua.
So that's nothing.
And obviously, Gray should beat out Brightwell.
Should.
Should.
the point. So it's like
It's this, yeah.
the thing with Hunt is he's like basically at the point where he's like a 1 yard guy. He's your vulture.
No, he's not.
Nah, he was more.
He's
of
very
a
good.
pass
He just
catcher of the
unfortunately was
two.
behind Chubb.
Yeah, I think he's going to be in the same role that he was. I don't think
Yeah.
any of them are getting starting jobs.
Definitely.
At least not
Well,
on good teams.
that's on him for being stupid. X
That's
amount
true.
of years ago.
He could have had multiple Super Bowls by now.
Yeah.
Oh, they signed Montgomery. I forgot. I was looking at the Lions depth chart.
Yeah, the Lions got rid of everybody.
They got rid
Did
of everyone.
DeAndre Swift sign?
No,
They
he got
traded
traded to
him
the
to-
Eagles.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember that because everyone was like, "Oh, I need a DeAndre Swift jersey for the Taylor Swift concert."
Oh,
That did happen.
all right.
So the Lions running backs with Ty Montgomery, and
They drafted
Somebody.
a couple guys too.
they drafted.
No, they got what's his face from Bama, the number one.
They drafted Gibbs, yeah, who's probably gonna end up
Gibbs.
being like a split 1-1.
And then what's his name went to the Bears? Bijan?
No, Bijan went to the Falcons.
Falcons. That was it.
Yeah, they picked him. Wasn't he a top 10?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
he
he
was
was ninth,
eighth or
yeah,
ninth.
something like that.
So
Bijan.
the next time we're coming to you is probably right around training camp, unless the Giants make a splash and re-sign Barkley and DeAndre Hopkins in the same day. Maybe they're just waiting to, have a press conference together.
Well, D-Hop was with the Pats today.
The Pats?
He was in New England today. You know what? That's one of
Matthew
his.
Judon
I've
was
always
so
wanted to
far
play
away.
with for Bill.
Mac Jones.
Yeah, sure. He always wanted to play with McCorkle. Just like Trevor Bauer always wanted to play in Japan. That's exactly what it is.
Yo, he's apparently been on like fire as of late. Like,
Yeah, apparently he's been
Oh.
getting people out.
He's gonna be shipped back to America if these issues keep on coming up.
Yeah, I think he
I
had
don't
more.
think he's
some
gonna
more
be allowed back in America.
he had some more allegations again, so I think he's just.
He
gonna have
did.
to
He
stay
did
in
the
another
sword
country.
thing again after he struck somebody out, and the second baseman was like behind him doing it too. I'm like, guy,
Yeah.
you're pitching in Japan. Relax.
How the mighty have fallen.
Was he ever mighty though? He
That was-
won a fake Cy Young.
I agree. I was being funny. All right,
Oh.
boys. I'm
All
heading
right.
out.
We got
I'll catch you
anything
later.
else? Later,
No.
Danny. I don't think
See
we
ya.
have anything else. Vincent, have you checked out The Crowded Room yet?
I'm sorry, what?
The Tom Holland show.
No.
Why is your internet so bad?
I don't know why my internet is so bad. That's weird.
Vincent looks like he's in the Matrix. Or
Really?
Tetris.
To me it looks fine.
No. Sorry.
I didn't know that was a show, honestly.
So it's on Apple TV. I got an alert that I renewed my subscription for another month. So I turned it on. I made it through 15 minutes and then the game went on. But it was like interesting game. An interesting show.
I'll be honest. Tom Holland needs a new agent because nothing he's in outside of Spider-Man intrigues me.
The Cherry was good.
It didn't look. I don't know. I didn't watch it. I don't know.
I think this show was written by the guys that he enjoys working with.
His guys.
Guys.
And all right.
Never mind.
The Marvels.
Who was the ones who wrote Cherry? That show. Cherry.
Russos.
Was it the Russos that did Cherry?
They did something. I don't know if it was. No, it wasn't Cherry.
Is that even what it was called?
It was definitely called Cherry.
Crowded Room, Spider-Man, Cherry. Yeah. Who was the writer and director? Yeah, it was the Russos.
Okay, I thought so.
And it was good. It was good. You know what was interestingly good? Surprisingly, Vincent.
What?
And I really had very low expectations for it.
What was that?
Hi, James.
Hey.
Fubar,
The fuck is that?
the Arnold Schwarzenegger show, where he's a CIA agent on Netflix.
I didn't know it was a thing.
It was so stupid that you have to watch it all the way through the end. That's the type of show it was.
Okay.
That was how bad it was. You just have to watch it.
Okay. What about the Stallone show? Have you watched that one?
The reality show?
No, the one on Paramount Plus. It's like
I have
Tulsa King.
Tulsa King. I have not watched.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched it either. I keep seeing clips of it on that though. I've heard good things. Yeah. Tulsa King.
Yeah.
There you go. Tulsa King is excellent. I haven't watched. But
Apparently, when you look up top TV shows, Gotham Knights comes up as a top show for me. But they already canceled after season 1, so I will not be watching that.
what is that?
That
was
was
the game.
no. So they made a TV show out of it. Also, basically, the game is right.
Oh.
The game, you're right, but the TV show is basically based off the game. Bruce is dead. The kids have to now figure it out.
That doesn't sound fun.
Did you watch Only Murders in the Building?
I should have, but I didn't.
Okay. It's still on, and I keep meaning to watch it. I did finally
What-
start watching. You'll be happy to know I stopped watching Smallville.
Okay, thank God. Because there was no reason to start watching Smallville in the first place.
When Amy Adams was a bad person who lost weight by eating people, I was like, okay, I think I'm done with this.
I never got into that show.
I really wanted to too, because I like listening to the guy who plays Lex's podcast. And
Yeah.
and the guy who was playing Superman in the show was good. Has been on the podcast a bunch of times.
Superman's cool guy.
Um,
So what did you start watching?
Jack Ryder.
Is that
The
which one? That's Krasinski, or is that
yes,
the other one? Okay.
Reacher is the other one you're thinking of.
Reacher is the other one with I don't know that
Alan
dude's name.
Richardson.
Yeah, he's in the new Fast and the Furious movie.
Right. Well, he's in the next 12 of them too. That's going to take 30
I
years
guess.
to make.
Yeah, he's like kind of one of the new bad guys. He killed.
Did you see it?
I did. Yeah, Dad, I went a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
It was fun. It was exactly what you thought it was gonna be, except up for the rest of them.
Because
So
apparently it's going to be streaming like tomorrow. Or
really?
actually, it's already streaming. It's according to this on Apple TV, on Amazon and Apple TV. I can go get it for $20.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was
And-
worth going to see it in the theater.
See, told you, Vince's face is not moving.
I don't know. For me, it looks fine. I don't know why it's not. Hold on. I'm gonna stop myself and turn it back on.
Yeah, stop yourself. Go away. Nope. Still look like you're in a 1993 video game.
Why does it look fine for me and not for the rest of us? Hold on.
Jack Reacher on Prime. No, Jack Ryan is on Prime. I sent you what it
I
looks
think
like.
we were talking about both, though. That's the thing. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're fine. Maybe you
But I
should leave
just
the
don't-
office. You ever think of that?
No, I can't leave the office. All right. Well, we're pretty much done anyway, because I don't know what's going on.
This is what happens when the only thing on TV is Coco Melon.
We didn't watch Cocomelon.
No, I have Office reruns on.
I have Seinfeld on because I just finished watching the Keith Hernandez episodes, and now I'm on to the next episodes.
Well, Keith Hernandez comes on more later in the show too.
Does he?
Mm-hmm. Toys. There's literally a show named a movie called Toys that's on TV.
That's so weird that my face looks like that.
Oh, Vincent.
All right. That's very
Also,
strange.
not a fan. I forgot to tell you. Not a fan of Avatar.
Yeah, I didn't think it would be.
That
It's
shit
really
took
long.
so long to get to a point where you could have gotten to 3 hours earlier.
Yeah. It was that. It was a lot of that, and I don't know why. It was much more worth it in the theater, but like you have to. When you went to go see it in the theater, you had to like. I think I went to the bathroom twice during that movie. Like it was that. It's just that fucking long.
Like, Endgame was that long, and Batman was that long, and I was able to sit through both of them.
It's too much. It looks cool, but it's just too much.
It just, and now they're gonna make 3 more of them. Like,
Apparently, yes.
okay. Well, with that being said, James, I miss you. Can you come home and go to a baseball game soon?
We'll have to go to a baseball game.
I wanted to come there and go to a Phillies game with your son, but he's too good for us.
We're talking about that maybe next year.
No, okay. You know they go to
So
Philly
I'm
other times other than your birthday weekend.
Well, I'm saying we're talking about that being the trip next year.
Philly?
You know, like I went to Colorado. So Philly might be the trip next year. So if you want to come, I could wrangle you into that one.
Would you do Mets Phillies or would you just go for anything?
No, Mets Philly.
Okay, so your trips are going to be Mets based only.
For the most part, yeah. That's the plan.
Okay.
But we're still figuring out where we're going. We might go to Chicago. We have to wait for the schedule to come out, basically, is the process.
Regularly, which Chicago stadium?
Wrigley.
Because we play at the White Sox next year. Because I figured
Yeah,
out the ALs flip.
Right. That's so we were talking about Boston, but we go there this year, later on.
Right, we're
So,
there
like,
in August.
It'll
like the
flip
week
next
after.
year.
Oh no, July. I think they're there.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
So we gotta figure it
I
out.
don't remember. Anywho,
Any
with that being
hooser.
said, have a good evening, everybody. We will talk to you in probably a couple of weeks.